Hello students, I am Vipul, and in this session I will discuss accounting for internal use software. When do you say software is internal use software? So a software is internal use software if it is acquired or developed internally to meet the organization's internal needs. For example, X company purchases a software to manage its inventory or payroll. It is an internal use software that X company has bought. X company may internally develop a software to manage its payroll or manage its inventory or manage data. It may internally develop a software or may purchase a software. So an internal use software is a software that is internally developed or purchased to meet the organization's internal needs. And also there is no plan to market the software externally. It is only for internal use. So there is no plan to market the software. That is, there is no plan to make copies of this software and sell to your customers. Now, how do you account for this? An amount paid to acquire an internal use software is capitalized. So, for example, you have bought an ERP to manage payroll, inventory, procurement, other things. You capitalize that cost. You have paid $10,000, capitalize that as an intangible asset. You do not expense it, capitalize it, asset. But what if you have internally developed a software? You have an IT team in your organization and the team has developed a software. Cost incurred for computer software developed for internal use should be capitalized depending on the nature of the cost and the project stage during which they were incurred. So depending upon the type of cost and when that cost was incurred, your team developed a software, at what stage a cost was incurred and what type of cost it is. Depending upon these two factors, you decide whether this cost should be capitalized or expensed. Internal and external costs incurred during preliminary project stage should be expensed as incurred. So when you incur that cost, expense it. But what type of cost we are talking about? Internal and external. For example, internal costs are employees' salaries cost or other overheads that are incurred, and external cost, payment made to outside consultants, payment made for certain materials purchased. We are here talking about both internal and external cost. So cost incurred during preliminary project stage are expensed. But what is this preliminary project stage? You have three stages here: preliminary project stage, application development stage, and post implementation operation stage. Three stages in software development. And depending upon the stage, the costs are either expensed or capitalized. So costs incurred during preliminary project stage are expensed, but what is this preliminary project stage? This is more of an analysis stage. So you analyze what alternatives are available, what type of software to develop, what technology to use to develop the software, what to do actually, how to develop the software. That is preliminary project stage, and all the costs that you incur during this stage are expensed. There comes application development stage. Here, actually, you develop a software. You design, then you do the coding, Then coding is done, installation to hardware, testing of the software that is developed. So designing is done, coding is done, installation done, and then testing of the software is also done. Everything related to development of software. And here, instead of the term software, FASB has used this term application. FASB could have named this as software development stage, but FASB has decided otherwise and used the term application instead of software. Okay. Then you have post-implementation operation stage. So once this development is complete, when application development stage ends, then you have this post-implementation operation stage. And here we are talking about training cost and maintenance cost, training cost of employees. And maintenance cost of software, training cost of employees and maintenance cost of software. These are the costs that are expensed. So if the entity has purchased a software for its internal needs, amount paid is capitalized. If the software is internally developed, not purchased, but internally developed, then cost incurred during application development stage are capitalized. Now, the cost that is capitalized should be amortized. So costs that are capitalized should be amortized. And this should be amortized using straight line method. So use straight line method to amortize this or any other systematic or rational basis. So this cost is amortized generally using the straight line method. You can use any other method that is systematic and rational. And this is amortized over its useful life. So use straight line method to amortize over its estimated useful life. So if the useful life of software is 3 years, the amount capitalized is $33,000. Then annual amortization is $11,000. This is annual amortization. This is your amortization expense. Now, when will this amortization start? Now, this amortization begins when it is ready for its use. It does not mean when you place the software in service. It does not mean when you have purchased it. It does not mean when development is complete. But we have to know when it is ready for its intended use. When it is ready for its intended use. When all testing is complete. When all substantial testing is complete. All right. So you need a software to meet your organization's internal needs. And you have two options. You can purchase a software or you can develop that internally. In case you purchase it, you capitalize. In case you develop that internally, certain costs may be expensed or capitalized, depending upon at what stage of development those costs are incurred. Costs during preliminary project stage are expensed. Costs during application development stage are capitalized. Costs during post-implementation operation stage What cost we are talking about? Training cost and maintenance cost. So training cost and maintenance cost during post-implementation operation stage are expensed, and the costs that are capitalized are amortized using straight line method or any other systematic and rational method over the software's useful life. And this amortization begins when the software is ready for its use. It does not mean when you have placed it in service. It does not mean when you have what. It means when substantial testing is done, when substantial testing is complete. All right, students. I hope this session was helpful. We'll connect again. Study hard. Take care.